Good day, Mom. Good day, class. I am Chian P. Meninia, and this is my topic. Predicate. Sentences consist of two main components, the subject and the predicate. The structure of predication refers to the relationship between these two components. The predicate is the part of the sentence that tells us what the subject is doing or being. Predicates can be structured in three main ways: complementation, coordination, and modification. The first one is complementation. Complementation involves a verb and a complement that provides additional information about the verbs. Complementation in grammar involves a verb and a complement providing additional information about the verb. Here are some examples of complementation. First, the cake smells delicious. Second, he painted the house blue. Third, they elected her president. Fourth, we consider him a genius. Fifth, the teacher named the project Operation Success. The example illustrates complementation of verb. The first one is smells. Second, painted, elected, consider, named. And a complement that adds information: delicious, house blue, president, genius, and project. Now, in the second one is coordination. Coordination, a compound predicate, is a type of predicate that uses coordination to join two or more verbs that share a subject. Coordination in grammar uses coordination to join two or more verbs sharing the same subject, forming a compound predicate. Here are some common coordinating conjunctions include and, or, nor, but, yet, for, so, either, or, and, neither, nor. The acronym is FANBOYS can help you remember this coordinating conjunction. Now, let's proceed to the third one, modification. What is modification? Is a change or alteration, usually to make something work better. If you want to change something, in other words, modify it, you need to make a modification. Lots of things require modification because they get older or just because they can be improved. Modification is a change or alteration, typically to improve something functionality. Like, for examples, clothing, hemming pants to make them shorter. Cars, adding a spoiler to change the appearance or installing snow tires of winter. Rooms, painting a room a different color to update the style. Computer programs, modifying programs to address new products or viruses. Curriculum, assigning shorter or easier reading assignments or homeworks that differ from the rest of the class. Now, let's proceed to the distinction of verbs. Form. Verbs are mainly distinguished according to their form. These include the S form and the base form. Verbs always agree with the subject and number. The S form is used when the subject in the third person singular, while the base form is used in the third person plural. Base forms are verbs, the basic form of verb without any endings. They are used with plural subject, they walk to school. Subject in the first person singular, I walk to school. Second, S form verbs are created by adding S or ES to the base form. They are used inclusively with third person singular subject. He walks to school. She runs every morning. Examples. Why does this matter? This agreement helps sentences remain grammatically correct and ensure clear communication. Now, we are in kinds and functions. The predicate structures always vary according to the kinds of verbs used in the sentence. These include linking verbs, auxiliary verbs, transitive verbs, intransitive verbs, ditransitive verbs, ergative verbs, prepositional verbs, and modal verbs. The first one is the linking verb. So what is a linking verb? Linking verbs are also called copulative verbs. These are verbs that connect a subject to a complement. Linking verbs include be verbs that link the subject to the complement such as is, are, was, and were. Linking verbs also involve the verbs that appeal to the senses. Linking verbs, also known as copulative verbs, do not choose actions. Instead, they link the subject of a sentence to a subject complement, which provides additional information about the subject, either renaming it or describing it. Connect subject to complement, like for example, linking verbs act as a bridge between the subject and a complement, which can be a noun or pronoun that renames the subject, predicate, nominative. An adjective that describes the subject, predicate, adjective. Do not show actions. Unlike action verbs, linking verbs do not express what the subject does. They express what the subject is or seems. Types of linking verbs. Be verbs. These are the most common linking verbs. Present tense is, or. The past tense are, was, were. Other forms be, been. Like for examples, she feels happy. Linking verbs feels plus adjective happy. The music sounds beautiful. Sense verbs is sounds plus adjective beautiful. He became angry. The linking verb is became and the plus adjective angry. They seem excited. Linking verb seem plus adjective excited. The child looked sad. Linking verb look plus adjective sad. Now, let's proceed to the topic of auxiliary verbs. What is auxiliary verbs? Auxiliary verbs, helping verbs. Auxiliary verbs are often called helping verbs because they assist the main verb in expressing tense, aspect, mood, or voice. Auxiliary verbs, also called helping verbs, are used alongside a main verb to form a verb phrase. They help clarify the tense, aspect, mood, or voice of the main verb, making the meaning of the sentence more precise. Key characteristics of auxiliary verbs are they do not stand alone. Auxiliary verbs always work with the main verb and cannot function as the main verb of a sentence by themselves. Example, she is running. Is helps the main verb running. Second, add meaning to the main verb. Indicate tense, past, present, future. She has eaten. Show aspect. Completion, continuity, they were playing. And express mood. Possibility, necessity, ability, I might go. Clarify voice, active or passive. The cake was baked by him. Here are some types of auxiliary. Be, is, or, was, were, being, been, used for continuous tenses. Passive voice and linking verbs. Have, has, had, having, used for perfect tenses. Do, does, did, doing, used for emphasis, questions, and negative statements. Modal, can, could, may, might, must, shall, should, will, would, used to express possibility, necessity, or obligation. Now let's proceed to the examples. Here are the examples of auxiliary verbs. Be can be used as an action verb or an auxiliary verb. For example, Jerry is messy. Do can be used as an action verb or an auxiliary verb. For example, I did put the garbage out. Have can stand alone in all tenses and is often used to denote ownership. For example, let's have dinner. Another examples are can, will, would, will. Can, a modal verb, for example, I may delete this later. Will, a modal verb, for example, I will be reading. Could, a modal verb that is the past tense of can, for example, when I was a kid, I could do somersault without getting dizzy. And now, let's proceed to the next topic, the transitive verbs. So what is the transitive verbs? Transitive verbs are those that need an object to receive the action. The objects could be nouns or pronouns that are direct receiver of the action. Transitive verbs are action verbs that must have a direct object to complete their meaning. The direct object answers the questions what or won't after the verb and is the receiver of the action. Key characteristics of transitive verbs. First, require a direct object. The action of the verb is directed towards someone or something. Without a direct object, the sentence is incomplete or lacks meaning. Example, she wrote a letter. The verb wrote needs this object letter to make sense. They called him is the object receiving the action of the verb called. The second is the object can be a noun or pronoun. Noun, he built a house. Pronoun, she helped them. Let's proceed to how to identify a transitive verbs. First, look for a direct object. Ask what or whom after the verb. Example, the teacher praised the student. What did the teacher praise? The student, direct object. Second, examples of common transitive verbs. Give, she gave him a gift. Gift is the direct object. Read, he read the book. Book is the direct object. Watch, they watch a movie. Movie is a direct object. Now class, let's proceed to the next topic. It is intransitive verbs. So what is intransitive verbs? Intransitive verbs, an intransitive verb is a verb that doesn't require a direct object, a noun, pronoun, or noun phrase to indicate the person or thing acted upon. Now, let's proceed to the examples of intransitive verbs are live, cry, laugh, stand, and wait. Here are some examples. First is the baby sleeps soundly. Sleep is intransitive. The second, the dog ran through the park. Run is intransitive. Third, they laugh at the joke. Laugh is intransitive. The sun shines. Shines is intransitive. The bird flew, and flew is intransitive. Always remember that intransitive is contrast with transitive verbs because transitive verbs has a direct object while intransitive verbs is no direct object. Let's proceed to the distributive verbs. What is distributive verbs? Distributive verbs are words or phrases that are used to refer to individual member of a group or to distribute an action or quality across the members of a group. Distributive verbs are verbs or phrases that apply an action or quality to individual members of a group, one at a time, rather than collectively as a whole. They emphasize that the action or quality is distributed among the group members individually, not as a single entity. Key characteristic of distributive verbs. First, focus on individuals in a group. They indicate that the action or state is being applied separately to each member of the group. Example, the teacher asked each student a question. Ask applies to every student individually. Second, use with distributive words or phrases. Often paired with distributive determiners like each, every, either, neither, or distributed pronouns like one by one or each one. Example, each child took a turn. Took applies to every child individually. Third, singular agreement. Distributive words like each or every make the subject singular. So, the verb agrees in singular form. Example, each of them plays well. Here are some examples of distributive verbs. First, left. The students left the classroom. Second, entered. The guests entered the party one by one. Third, stood. The audience stood to applaud. Always remember that distributive verbs highlight the individual treatment or attention given to each member of a group, clarifying that the action does not occur collectively. This distinction helps avoid ambiguity in sentences. And that's all. Thank you. Again, I am Chian P. Manino.